Hello humans, today I want to talk about the Gerber ripstop 2. So about 15 plus years ago at this point, wow, time flies, Gerber decided that everybody wanted skeleton framed folding knives. And they came off with their very successful line of the Gerber Paraframe series and a couple of other series like the ripstop series. So the Gerber Paraframe series has definitely stood the test of time. It's very well known, sells very, very well, and I even had a buddy who EDC'd one throughout all of high school. This, however, is the Ripstop 2. Let's take a look and see whether it can live up to its older brother. So in terms of packaging, we've got this cardboard and plastic, which isn't the worst in the world, but I do have opinions about nonetheless. On the front, we have Gerber, name of the knife, and then some details. So it's got a 5CR blade, which is not very good. You've got a plain edge, which you can obviously see. It's folding, which you can obviously see. It's frame lock, which isn't super obvious, but you can definitely see it. There's a pocket clip, apparently. All right. And then, oh, that's a okay. I need to show this off in a way. So you can see where the indent is for the plastic that holds the knife in place. And you can see that the print of the knife that they have is just slightly off of it. Like, how long would it have taken in Photoshop to move this, what is this, a warning? Oh, to move these alternate language warnings up here in this upper space where there's nothing really, and just centered this graphic over the cutout. That would have looked so nice, especially compared to what we get with the weird wave-like lines going through it all. Anyway, you have Ripstop 2, 5CR 15 MOV, which it's not quite a pot steel, but it's a butter knife steel. It's good for a butter knife. It's comparable to like 440A. So, not great. And the handle is nameless stainless steel, okay? Drop point blade, plain edge, it's got a nail nick on front only. It's frame lock with a pocket clip. Looks like a one-position pocket clip according to this graphic, but we're going to see. Designed and engineered in Oregon, which means it's not made there, but, you know, somebody designed it, and they engineered how to make it in Oregon, and then they sent it to China, where manufacturer's cheap and nobody has to care. Manufactured in China, yep. There's a limited lifetime warranty in North America only. 25-year limited warranty outside of North America. I imagine that as soon as you try to look at this thing funny, the warranty is going to expire. Contents, one knife. Well, I can see that. Thank you. There's one knife inside of this. See, the packaging says so. This one here was made in 2019 by Gerber Gear, whatever. Okay. So, I paid $9.99 for this in Canadian Tire. Come on. Oh, there's plastic under that. I paid $9.99 for this at Canadian Tire. And for me, what that means is that it is getting compared to other knives that I spent less than $10 on. For example, get cut. Gotta love cardboard. And plastic. I'm going through the plastic too. That explains why it's being a pain. Which is putting it directly in comparison to knives like this Cabela's folding knife, whatever, which has a 420 high carbon steel compared to the 5CR steel, which the 420HC is definitely going to be higher quality than your 5CR. Like I said, 5CR is comparable to a 440A, right? So it's not a great steel. But on the flip side of that, it is also being compared to knives like this piece of junk that I got at a surplus store for $9.99, I think. And it's also being compared to things like this buck knife, which I got on fairly extreme discount for, I think, $13 all told. So this is sort of the tier that it's fitting in this sort of sub $15 tier. Just be open. The plastic in this packaging absolutely hates getting taken apart because it knows that everything inside of this should never be set free, and that I am committing a cardinal sin by doing so. But we're going to do it anyways, mostly because I don't care. Well, two things worth owning and one piece of deteriorating rubber. Seriously, I've owned this thing for like 4 months and the rubber's powdering. I'm very concerned about it. Anyways, that's not what this is about. We've got this piece of paper. Oh, it is folded up like a road map, super tiny to fit in behind the blade. Is this literally just going to be my warranty information? Whoa, look at how that folds out. Okay. Canada. Here we go. That's French-Canadian. I do not want to translate French-Canadian. USA, UK, caution, cut hazard, sharp blades. Yes. Yes, it is. Like, look at this. It literally says cut hazard, sharp blades. Now, I don't entirely believe that this is going to have a sharp blade. But no shit, it's going to be a cut hazard. It's a knife. I know what I just spent my 10 hard-earned dollars on. Ugh. Any improper use of the billet knife, including chiseling, ice poking, awling, prying, or contact with the blade, may result in injury. That's a way of wording that. Keep blade away from fingers and body, so, I mean, duh. Do not strike the knife with another object, no batoning. Sure, whatever. Do not use, yeah, whatever. It's pretty standard boilerplate crap. The knife itself comes with this plastic tip cover. That is not very sharp. Okay. Okay, hold up real quick. I just want somebody to explain to me why this, I'm assuming that's the model number, needed to be put right in the middle of my cutting path. Put it nicely right like here, where I don't need to look at it all the time. Is this a difficult thing to do? I don't know how to feel about this blade, because the cutout, like it's not all the way through, right? Like it's just indented in there, and it's nicely knocked down all around. It's not going to create a hot spot, like opening it or anything like that. But this knife just looks weird as a result. Oh, well, that hot spot immediately doesn't matter. So, in an attempt, I'm assuming, to make this the lightest, most skeletal frame knife possible, the show side has this massive cutout along it. Which on the one hand sort of makes some sense, right? Like you want to have, the least amount of material possible. But then, presumably to accommodate the frame locking mechanism, the other side is super, like more of a traditional knife shape. So as a result, you have this fairly thin and actually thinned down, so it's almost like it's a force multiplier. It is almost sharp. It's like I'm trying to hold on to a stick that somebody carved an edge into. Like it's not gonna cut me, but this is not a very pleasant experience. No, did I just force it past? I must have. On the plus side, access to the lock bar is phenomenal. I mean, look at all of this space I have to get at it. It is kind of hard getting off the lock bar, though, to close this one-handed. Like, seriously. Yeah, I think I need to use two hands. Can I get it with one? There we go. So you gotta hold this, like, in the most awkward way possible to get it to disengage the lock with one hand and then, like, use your finger to push up on it. Like, this is not... Yeah, that's not excellent. All right. And this is literally just proof that the entire knife could have been this size. If you wanted to have this like ultra thin look, you could have done this. The other side is actually higher than the knife is. So you're ruining your ergonomics for nothing. It's got a series of standoffs on the back. Fine, fair enough. It's got this massive overdone like pivot collar. It's genuinely huge. And you've got this clip. So overall, it's got 3 screws in it. One of the screws is actually acting like the over travel, like one of the edges of this pocket clip is acting as the over travel stop, which that makes sense. Like, I understand why they designed it this way, but it's ugly. And if you take the pocket clip off, you lose your over travel stop. Okay. On On the plus side, it looks, the pivot isn't captive, but the body screws are. Like you can see here on this side right here, these are captive, or they just go all the way through and then they're threaded onto the other side, which is also a possibility. But either way, these 3 body screws only have a face on one side, which makes sense. But the pivot screw has one on both. You can just see it under that scale there. Which, why? It's got either Teflon or just regular plastic. My money's on regular plastic washers under there. Oh, that's fun. You can't pinch the blade where the cutout is. You basically just have to like push it with your thumb, which is all right. $10. Gotta remind myself this thing cost me only $10. Which, oh wait, hold up. I'm going to get, I don't know why they didn't advertise this. It's a front flipper. Just about, if it had a decent detent. The detent is fairly undersized for it, but with enough of a wrist, maybe I'll get it. Hold up. Nope. Yeah, I'm not gonna get this. This is just an accessible part of the blade that probably shouldn't be accessible. The pocket clip itself, other than just being ugly as sin in my opinion, and the fact that you can't remove it without losing your over travel stop, which is just a curious design choice, it's not too bad. It has sort of this bill design right here at the bottom. It'll go over your seam perfectly fine. It will hold your knife in your pants. Yeah. It's not exceptional, but it's boring. And at $10, boring is pretty good, right? If you want to compare that to the Cabela's clip, I would say the Cabela's clip is better, but the Cabela's clip was probably designed more recently as well. Yeah. Look at, oh, wait a minute. I don't know how obvious that is. The tip of the knife is actually above the show side scale. So you're not going to be able to get your finger in there because the backside scale is so high. But that's just a little bit of a dumb decision now, ain't it? In terms of centering, object is not centered, like at all. But I can't tell if that's because it's not it's just not centered, or if it's because I think the rear of the knife is taller than the front of the knife. Because it looks to me, at least, like it's remaining consistently away from this side, and then this side right here, the show side, is just going farther out the whole way. Let's see if the edge is anything. Okay, so there's some type of sharpness there. Somebody once informed us that it was a knife. Let's see. This is actually just like regular paper. Like it's not even receipt paper or anything like that. And yeah, it'll cut. It's got its initial edge on it. I mean, with it being 5CR, you're going to be resharpening this fairly often. But it's not world-endingly bad. It's just pretty bad. Yeah, honestly, for $10, I think the Cabela's knife is better. It's smaller. Like, don't get me wrong, the Cabela's knife is smaller, but it was also $4 less. This was $6, this was $10. And if you insist on going up to, the $10 to $15 range, save out and get yourself either one of these Buck 190s or the Buck 311 when it goes on sale at your local Canadian Tires. Either of these two, I think, demolishes the Gerber what was this thing? Ripstop 2. Even if just because, I mean, this one here has the more comfortable handle and the better blade steel. I don't know about heat treats or anything like that. Plus it has the significantly better one-handed open and unlock. And I mean, this has a tip-up pocket clip, which does all the difference in the world. Even though it is, designed for two-handed opening, the better pocket clip just makes all the difference, plus the significantly more comfortable handle. And you're not even trading that much in terms of weight. Like, these two weigh the same. And yes, you are getting a 3-inch blade compared to a 2-inch blade, but you're getting a handle that you can actually use. Save your $10, buy one of these for $5.99, and split the difference on a cup of coffee, because coffee prices are bloody ridiculous nowadays. Yeah, stay safe and have fun out there. Peace.